Alright, now we're going to move on to core. These guys right here, or actually gals, are harpies. They come in at 11 points apiece. They do not, they're considered beasts, so they don't get the eternal hatred rule. Also means if they break and flee through one of your units, it won't cause a panic test. I used 2 of these last night for the first game against dwarves. Actually, these girls are pretty good. Like I said, for 11 points, they get 2 attacks. Sure, they're strength 3, but a unit of 5 of these can definitely tie up and beat a War Machine crew. They both had 2 units of 5, and they did their job last night. I really like these much better than the Great Eagle that the High Elves have. The Great Eagle, I think, more is march blocking, which these guys can do that also, but they can actually fight. And like I said, they're skirmishers, flyers, so probably almost every Dark Elf player has at least one of these in their army, if not 2 units. Alright, the next core unit we're going to talk about are warriors or spearmen. These guys are now a bargain. They come in at 6 points. Typical elf, light armor, strength 3, toughness 3. Of course, they got a shield you can get for 1 more point. So at 7 points, eternal hatred. You need numbers. These are the guys to do it. Will I include one of these in every army? I've used them last night, but I didn't use them too effectively. But I can see a role for these guys because they're so cheap. It'll really help you fill out numbers and fill them out quick. Alright, next unit we're going to talk about, next core unit, are Dark Elves here with the repeater crossbows. These guys are one of the reasons I wanted to change from the High Elves to the Dark Elves. For 10 points, these guys can be put down an impressive amount of firepower. Their bows got a bump in effectiveness in their new army book. They're strength 3, which is what they were before. Range 24, no change there. 2 shots or multi-shot, same. But they got armor piercing, so -1 armor save. That's cool. These guys are 10 points. You can add a shield for 11. I would always add a shield. These guys can actually maybe even, win a combat because they have eternal hatred. If they get charged by something skirmishing or a small unit of flyers. But these guys can put down an impressive amount of firepower. Like I said, this one unit was not just this unit, but this was one of the reasons I just felt like my High Elves, and maybe I just sucked, but I would run 1 or 2 units of 10 to 12 High Elf archers, and their one shot, yeah, it was range 30, but big whoop. I just couldn't kill a lot. So glad to see those go. Glad to have these Dark Elves. Repeater crossbow guys. It's been fun to use them. Alright, next core unit we're going to talk about are these Corsairs. These are beautiful. See if I can get some detail here. These are new plastics, and you guys have been playing for any length of time know that the new plastics from Games Workshop, lots of detail, lots of bits, and they're just great. These guys, well, I used them. They're sort of a cheap version of the Witch Elves. You can give them an extra hand weapon like you see here, which is what I would do. That short, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's a short bow. Well, let me scratch that. It's actually called a hand bow. It has a range of 8. Anyways, what's good about these guys is you can give them a hand weapon and then another hand weapon, so they have 2 attacks, and then you can give them a banner which gives them frenzy. So these guys have 3 attacks and they're immune to psychology because they have frenzy. Unlike the Witch Elves, these guys don't have poison like they do, but they have the Sea Dragon Cloak and light armor, so they have something that the Witch Elves don't have. They have the Slaver rule, which is sort of cool. What that means is if these guys break someone in combat, that unit that flees, you may force him to re-roll one of his dice. So that gives them a better chance of running someone down. These guys are cool. Used them last night. They eventually beat down some dwarf miners, but hey, enjoyed using them. I got 1 unit of 20 of these guys. I'll use them because what the heck, I don't have any Witch Elves anyways. Alright, moving on to the next core unit. The Dark Elves have no shortage of core units. These guys are probably one of the ones that most Army has and uses, with 5 core units. This is, if not the best, it's the second best, and I can't imagine not taking these guys. These guys are fast cab. You can give them the repeater crossbow, which is what you'd want to do. Brings them up to like 21 points. These guys can harass, shoot, take on small units because they do have spears, so it's strength 4 on the charge. These models are old. I mean, they're current, but man, GW really needs to issue these guys in plastic. So I'm hoping that with the second wave or second release, Games Workshop will give us some new models. I got 2 units of these. I got 10 of them total. Or is it 12? I think it's 10 total, but with just a musician. But these guys, you know, for fast cav, it's some of the fast cav. I'm going to venture to say probably the best fast cav in the game because their leadership 8, their bow is what gives them the 2 shots. The High Elf Illyrian Reavers with their 1 shot just isn't quite as good. These guys have 2 shots. Movement at 9. They can get across the board really quick. These guys are almost an auto include. I like these guys. Last night, unfortunately, I had 1 unit. They didn't do a whole lot. They got blown apart by some damn dwarf thunderers. I hate the stunties, but you know, their strength 4 armor piercing basically negates these guys' armor. So these are, if you like fast cav, then you'll like these guys. Alright, if you guys are thinking, I forgot about something, and you're thinking, well, what about the assassin? We'll cover him later. He does have his stats and profile in the core section, but I won't forget the assassin, and we'll talk about him. Now we're going to move over to the special category. Alright, we're going to start talking about specials. The Dark Elves have 6 specials. Most of them are pretty good. You've seen these 2 girls already once. They are part of the Cauldron of Blood. These are Witch Elves. I don't have Witch Elves. We'll probably get them eventually. They're 10 points a model, 1 attack. You give them a second weapon, 2 attacks, frenzy 3 attacks. But what's cool is they have poison, and they're Khainite. And Khainite gives them access to some, I don't use the word it gives them access to some potions and magic items that the other characters can't have. If you like these kind of units, these would be great for taking out light, medium infantry, maybe a giant because they're immune to his terror and just the sheer number of attacks and poison. So these girls, to me, they're good, but in all the Dark Elf whole army, this is a unit that just, there's only 2 units that I'm not really that excited about, and this is one of them. Like I said, I will probably get some eventually, but just not really that excited about them. Alright, continuing on with the specials, you can see this thing is in pieces. Missing the actual riders, but this right here is a Cold One Chariot. Okay, Cold One Chariot. You can see it's in pieces, and actually those are Cold One riders, but GW hasn't released a new model yet for the Cold One Chariot. This Chariot, I mean, it's 100 points. It's not a bad deal. It's toughness 5 with a 3+ armor save and scythed wheels. So that's pretty cool. Strength 5. The guys have spears, so they'll have actually strength 5 on the charge. I will use this guy because I like chariots. How often I'll use them, don't know. But this is, mentioned earlier with the Witch Elves. There's 2 units that I'm not overly happy about. Well, this isn't one of them, but coming up on the next one, it is. The only downside to this chariot is with Cold Ones, as you all know, is the possibility of stupidity. Last night in my game, I had Cold One riders. Turn 1, they made their stupid test. Turn 2, I rolled a 10. They went stupid. Turn 3, I rolled an 11. They went stupid. Not a good showing for the first time for the Cold Ones. So this one runs the same risk. But we are going to talk about the next unit that I don't feel like is that great.